So my weekly video this week is actually going to be more about just what I've experienced this week with my second daughter leaving home. So those of you who follow me on Facebook would have seen me do quite a vulnerable post where I was crying, I was very upset, and I wanted to talk about this because obviously I'm in menopause and the people watching this video are probably likely in menopause too. So I feel like this is not, if you haven't got there yet and you are a mother, then you will be due to go through it at some point. If you're a mum, one day you'll say goodbye as your kids leave your home. And to be quite honest, I just don't think we talk about this. And I shared my heart on Facebook yesterday, and I decided this week I would actually talk a bit more about it because I don't think as women we talk about how hard it is when our kids leave. And it's not that we don't want them to leave, right? So I'm going to give you some context. Some of you may not actually know my background. I feel like those of you that connect with me, I kind of think, you know, we kind of connect over menopause, or we connect over CrossFit, or we connect over whatever, like there's so many things, right? And then I just feel like I know you, even though I don't know you, because we connect and chat and talk and message. So some of you might not actually know much about me. So I'm 49. I live in Brisbane with my husband, Gary. We've been married 26 years, I think it is. 26. We have 3 daughters. So our eldest daughter left home 18 months ago, and she actually moved out of town. So she lives an hour away in a place called Newcastle. It's a beautiful place. She has found a lovely guy. We love Ben, and they're super happy. No one tells you what it's like when your children leave home. So you, like, don't get me wrong, like she's now nearly 24, and it was time for her to leave, and there's just no right time. Like, I was really young when I left home, and every year that would pass I would embrace because I felt like it was treasured moments because I left so many years earlier. However, you know inevitably, that one day they will leave, and you want that for them. My example is like our neighbour across the road. He still lives with his mum. Now, none of us want that for our kids, right? We just don't want our adult children like still being at home with us. You know, we generally want them to leave home, have their own lives, you know. But no one really talks about what that feels like when it happens. So I wanted to just give you my experience and put into words how I can explain it. For those of you who haven't traveled through it, for those of you who have traveled through it, you'll know what I mean, and we can just connect. So drop in the comments right now if you have experienced it and how you felt. Maybe you were excited about it. Maybe you were upset about it like I was. Like, here's the thing. The first one was really difficult for me because she left the city and I couldn't see her all the time. So I felt a massive sense of grieving because it wasn't just that she was moving out, she was actually moving away. And that was change for all of us. So that was really tough. And I really did struggle for the first few months just adjusting to that, you know, because it was a big change. Number 2 has bought their own house, and literally yesterday was their first day moving out. So last night was their first night. And I can't tell you, I'm so excited. I'm really excited for them. This is perfect timing. They are ready. They've bought a house. It's only like 10 minutes away. Yesterday, I could not get out of my own way. I'm not kidding you. I was just triggered by everything and everyone, and I couldn't understand why, because that's not normally me. I'm really not that type of person. I'm pretty calm. However, it dawned on me that the reason was actually because I was sad, and actually this was an emotional toll on me, and it wasn't about them leaving. I miss them, of course. This is time and they are ready to move on. It was actually, I think, the fact that life will never be the same. It's the period of change that now is occurring, that now there's only 3 of us here, that like they're in their own house, Kalia's got her life, and it's the change that we're moving to the next stage. And maybe a little bit of grieving for, like, I found myself like looking at little kids on the beach, reminiscing about when the girls were little, and you know, these sort of things, you know. So I think it's just a transition from moving from this stage of our lives to where we're actually heading into the next stage of our lives. Our youngest daughter is in grade 12 and she's almost finished school. So it's this new chapter. So I would love to hear your thoughts. If you have experienced the empty nest syndrome where your kids have all left, is that how it felt for you? You know, I would love your comments and feedback. Please drop them in the comments. And if you have any advice, please share that too. The reason that I do these videos is honestly to connect with the greater, you know, community and other women traveling through life at my stage as well. I truly believe we are on this earth to connect and help each other along. So sharing and just hearing your stories, it really is cool. So I would love it if you took the time to just send me your perspective and outlook and how you feel about it. And I just wanted to talk about it this week because, in all honesty, I opened up yesterday when I was upset, and the amount of people that reached back to me, I realized that as women, there are things that we go through, emotional things, and menopause is one of them, right? Like, this is why I do what I do and put out the content I do, so we can connect, because we often just travel through these things by ourselves and we don't mention it and we don't talk about it. And even yesterday, so I did this Facebook Live and both my older daughters actually ended up watching it, and I didn't even think they were on Facebook. I never intended to do it for them to see. However, and then I kind of went, did I do the wrong thing by sharing my feelings? And I think this is where we go wrong as a society. They do need to know that them moving on affects us and how it affects us emotionally, because one day they may be mothers and one day they may travel through it. And so sometimes I think we protect emotions because we don't want to upset other people, and it's not about that. It's not about that I didn't want to upset them, but they also need to know that this is like a change for me, and there's some emotional changes, and I'm moving through some challenges myself. And I think that I had to reflect on that and think about it, because my oldest daughter reached out and she goes, I just watched your Facebook and it made me cry. And initially I felt regret for doing it, and then I sat with it for a while and I thought, you know what, like, it's actually not a bad thing, like, that you know that this affects me, because one day this could be you. And we need to share our emotions and our feelings, and the mother-child bond is completely unique, and no one really talks about this stage. So anyway, this is what I wanted to talk about this week. I don't have any, well, here's the connection to menopause, right? The connection to menopause is that I realized yesterday, as I was being triggered left, right, and center, that, and I may have talked about cortisol and stress being very damaging for menopause symptoms. So that was a stressful day for me yesterday, I'm not gonna lie. So taking myself away, meditating for a bit, feeling my emotions, also not dwelling on it, because I know that if I stay in that place of cortisol stress, that's not good for my menopause symptoms, and not good for anyone, whether you're in menopause or not. You don't want to be sitting in stress. I made myself go to the gym, because when you are in a stressed state or an upset state, moving your body is one of the best things that you can do. Didn't feel like it, went, it actually made me feel better. So that's actually maybe my advice for you today, is if you're feeling stressed, get your body moving. If you are having stress in your menopause or perimenopause, wherever, I just say menopause, so if you're in perimenopause, please know that it means the same thing. Please look at ways of being able to manage it. Exercise, meditation, I use journaling, there's so many things, breath work, things that you can do to help calm yourself. I make sure I commit to, having some special time like that every day. Reading is another thing that I find really brings me down. I read every night before bed. So wanted to share those things. If you guys have some tips on bringing your stress down, please drop them in the comments for other people to see. Please, please, please tag and share this with another friend who may also want to connect over any of the topics we've talked about today. Like I said, I haven't got anything too insightful. I really just wanted to share this to connect with others and get their advice and their feedback and your comments. But please share and tag and subscribe if you're not already. Appreciate you all. Thanks for listening and being there. And, let's make sure we talk about our feelings and our emotions and not bottle it up, because, motherhood's hard work and it's so rewarding, but we need to make sure that, we are sharing the journey. And even though it was a challenging day yesterday, it's a positive experience. So have an amazing week and day, and sending lots of love to you wherever you are in the world.